Hi everyone, welcome to Reaction Shots for
Freezing Shots.
February. It is a little chilly. It's cold outside unless it's cold in here. I think maybe just mentally.
Yeah.
We've got like banging AC. Too banging maybe. Hopefully by next month the audio treatment will be in here, so we're still a little echoey. It's coming in. They're shipping it at the end of Feb.
Nice.
So we'll get it because it's some custom pieces. So
March is hype. A little warmer.
A little warmer, a little Sekiro-ier.
Little Devil May Cry.
I feel nothing for Devil May Cry. I liked the originals.
That's
Back
fine.
in the day. I don't know, whatever. So today's episode's a little different than normal. We're going to start off with the What Have You Been Watching segment, of course, and What Have You Liked Recently, whatever. And then we're mostly just going to take your comments today. It's going to be kind of a community forum episode. I'm just going to go down the comments, and we'll see if we can get to all of them.
Excellent.
It's going to be crazy.
I like it.
Flying by the seat of our pants here.
I like it.
Fast and loose. But, yeah, so what have you liked recently, Huber? Oh, yeah, I'm Ian Hink. This is Michael Huber.
So, 2019 is a very important year because it somehow is the year that Star Wars is ending, Episode 9. Game of Thrones is ending. I quotations on those.
Yeah. So far, both of those have many follow-ups already in the works.
But, like, they're sagas, right?
Right.
This
arc.
And the MCU.
Yeah,
ends.
this phase.
Yes. So I have been going back and I've been watching all the Marvel movies and Game of Thrones as well. Not catching up, rewatching them.
You rewatching all of Game of Thrones?
All of it.
All of it.
I just watched Hard Home, so I'm deep.
What season is that?
That's near the end of 5.
Good God.
And Ian, let me tell you something, because we've talked about, like kind of the pacing, some things drag on.
Yeah.
Khaleesi feels like she's over there forever.
Just kind of doing nothing.
I have enjoyed it so much more because that stuff just flies by, Like her ruling over in Marine and stuff.
Yeah.
Watching that week to week was kind of frustrating because it feels like she's off, like not really doing anything. But now because you can just binge through it and watch it faster.
Yeah.
It's less frustrating, and it's so important because it's like, this is her ruling. Like, she has to go through this. She has to learn how to rule, make these hardline choices. So I've just been really enjoying binging through Game of Thrones.
That's a Herculean effort, but I applaud you.
It's been our eating show, Beth and I.
Sure.
So we've been, like, it's been going by so fast. Like, honestly, we've watched 5 seasons in, like, a month.
Yeah. Nothing more appetizing than the Red Wedding. Tell you that.
We made sure, we kind of sometimes we'll like, oh, do you want to watch one more? Or like, oh, maybe we should stop here. So like the Red Wedding was like a one more. We'd already eaten.
You'd already eaten.
And it was like, oh, let's watch one more. It's the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
I like Game of Thrones. Yeah, I like Game of Thrones. It's just crazy because it just goes all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
All over the place.
Yeah, and just again, the watching it a second time through, it's equally as good and better in some regards because you kind of know what to expect. It like some things rewatching, like some things I won't rewatch. It's like, okay, it's kind of a one and done.
Yeah.
But it's so fun rewatching it and just, tracking certain characters, like, oh, they planted that here, or following this character's arc here, and it's a good time.
How many characters? The one that springs to mind is the crazy like masked lady. When like Arya got to Bravos or whatever, where the Iron Bank is.
Yeah.
Never saw her again.
Masked lady.
This is like a long time ago.
Masked lady. I know there's like Jaqen Hagar or whatever.
I love Jaqen Hagar.
And then like the waif. But I don't remember a masked. Maybe I'm not there yet.
It's before all that.
Okay.
Red. Maybe it's after that? Maybe it's when she's running?
I remember there's like a mysterious masked lady
Maybe it wasn't Arya. Maybe it was somebody else.
Khaleesi and them meet like a masked lady that shows up for one episode.
Yeah, and then I never see her again.
I looked into like the book lore, and I guess she's one of like the red ladies too.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So who knows?
Oh, a fire, whatever. Yeah, whatever. We're gonna accidentally spoil all of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, sorry.
But most importantly, what else?
Most importantly, the MCU. First up, though, new stuff. Punisher season 2. Little frustrating because it started off, no joke, I promise you, starts at a 10. Ian, I'm not even kidding. You should watch the first episode of season 2. It is legendary.
Okay.
It has the lead from Man in the High Castle.
Rufus Sewell?
No, the female lead, the main lead. And
Rufus Sewell is like the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Dark City hype. I love Dark City, dude.
Me too. It's so good. Punisher season 2, though, I loved the first couple episodes. They're so good. Anytime you have the plot line of like a night of true love and honesty, I'm so here for. He like meets this woman. They have an immediate connection, and it's one of those things where they like...
Night with a K or just night of N-I-G-H-T?
N-I-G-H-T, a night of truth and love, you know, where these two, not broken souls, but these two people who have had a rough life connect and just bare their souls and their heart out there and are so truthful and honest with each other. I love that. And they did it in such a believable, honest way. It was just a pleasure to watch. And then, of course, it's the Punisher, so all hell breaks loose.
Right. Isn't his whole backstory that his wife got murdered and that's why he went bonkers?
Wife and children, well, his whole family gets murdered.
So now he's about to, like, do it all again?
Well, that's the thing. That's the struggle. It's like, can I live an honest life?
Right.
Can I do this?
No.
And spoiler alert, like, sorry, it's like, obviously no, dude, it's Punisher.
We wouldn't have a show if you did that punny.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a really strong start, especially episode 3. I won't spoil that, but that's a really nice little self-contained kind of action episode as well. But it was just a steady decline throughout the season. There was a storyline that was so distant from the main plot line that it just felt so isolated and unnecessary. And when the payoff finally happened, I felt nothing.
Yeah. Those Netflix, speaking of pacing,
it's just a little too long, man.
All the Netflix Marvel shows that I've tried to struggle through have had the worst pacing of anything I've ever seen in my entire life, probably.
Yeah. Yep. So,
barring maybe True Dicks season 2, which is like the worst thing of all time.
I need to watch season 3.
Season 3 I'm actually enjoying. I've seen the first 2 episodes and I'm liking it so far.
That's what my dad
But
said.
I'm like bracing myself, True Dicks. I just I keep it at arm's length because I'm like, you've hurt me before, True Dicks.
Yeah.
Every time, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I didn't like the end of season 1, but the first half of season 1 was like the greatest thing that I've ever seen. So it's just like, man.
Punisher, just a slow, steady decline. But at the end of the day, I still really enjoyed it. And I still would recommend it if you like the Punisher and or the MCU.
Sure.
So absolutely. Definitely worth it. Just, again,
do you think
little too long.
You said the Russo brothers thought about tying the shows in slightly to
They thought about Daredevil at
Infinity
least,
War?
And they couldn't fit it in. And that's a good thing. They've been so honest about it. They don't want to just throw it in to be like, hey, I'm Daredevil, like, I'm going to help you out, Spider-Man, pa-ching, 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 bye.
Yeah,
it's no.
Yeah. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it's like, no, if we have a way to get them in a legitimate way, we'll do it, but...
You know what I would, like... The kinds of nods I would like to see, honestly, like in Spider-Man, in one of the Spider-Mans, he just like walks by the Murdoch law office or whatever.
Totally.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like doesn't need to be anything other than that.
Yep.
Like
just connect it.
Yeah.
Just that little.
Just walks through Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Like Jessica Jones is like. Just like passes him on the street,
bumps into him, like, yo, watch it, dude.
Sorry, yeah. Like doesn't need to be anything other than that. Just like that they live in the same place.
Yes,
that's it.
Yep.
In fact, like I think anything more than that might be a mistake.
I agree. I would love that.
Yeah,
but I don't know exactly. We need to call Hogue because I don't know the exact
it's
deal.
a rat's
You
nest,
can't,
man.
well, because the shows have been canceled, they can't be used in any property for 2 years.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if they're even allowed to now be in the MCU at all.
Phase 6, man. Phase 6.
And
They'll all be Skrulls
Yeah.
or whatever.
Speaking of the MCU, yes, I've been catching up, and I just 2 nights ago watched my favorite of all time, The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Winter Soldier is really good.
Just an old spy thriller, 3 Days of the Condor style.
Is the Winter Soldier maybe the first great MCU film?
People would argue Iron Man.
Iron Man 1, I think, I loved it at first. Rewatching it, that movie is slow.
It's a little,
I would say.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's just a product of its time. It was just a slower paced era of filmmaking, but I don't know, man.
They're definitely growing pains, and obviously the Incredible Hulk is really weird, and the recasting of characters. You have Terrence Howard in one, but then Don Cheadle. There's definite growing pains.
They have a really funny line in Iron Man 2 about that though, where Don Cheadle just goes yeah, it's me now or something, but it makes sense in the world, but it's clearly it's about the acting change, the actor change.
Going through them again, because this is the second time now that I've all right, before Avengers 2, I think I
That's
marathoned
Age of
them all.
Ultron.
Yeah, but going through them again,
I did not like.
So the thing is, it's very mood based.
Sure.
All of the MCU, dude, and I'm going through now, catching up for the finale, Captain Marvel and Endgame. The end is in sight. I know it's not the end, but in my mind,
the end of Captain Marvel.
The end of this 11-year journey.
Right. I see Captain Marvel as the beginning of Phase 5. 5?
We're gonna end. Endgame is the end of 4.
Right. So yeah, she's the beginning of Phase 5. And gonna help clean up Phase 4, and then Phase 4 is ending.
Yep,
which is the right way to do it.
Exactly.
I think if you have this giant monolith of phases.
Yeah. So it's so mood based. It's I've just been going with the ride, And sometimes if I get really critical, I'm you know what? Iron Man 2 and Thor 2 and
I've only seen
even
Ragnarok.
Iron Man 3 and some of these aren't the best, but going through them all with the thought of just how they all connect leading to the end is so fun and exciting, and I've enjoyed them all this time around, dude. I enjoyed Iron Man 2 like I never have before. Iron Man 3, I was dude, some of these fight scenes are so sick.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I know I want to
Iron Man 3's got maybe the funniest line in the MCU.
Which one?
To me. Where he just puts that little kid on blast for not
so
having
good.
a dad.
It's
so out of nowhere and just
nowhere.
so inappropriate to say to a child. I'm just good.
Yeah.
But it
love that kid.
It came out of nowhere, that line.
Going through again, Tony Stark, dude. Robert Downey Jr., I've loved him more than I ever have going through this time.
He really evolves.
Yeah. His growth, his character arc is so good. He is so charismatic. He really steals every scene, and I've been loving it, man. Yeah. And again, Winter Soldier is the best. There is one problem with Winter Soldier that bugs the hell out of me, and Punisher as well. I've been so... I see through action scenes now. I'm so critical of them, and I wish I could turn that part of my brain off, but I can't.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Captain America Winter Soldier where a dude has a minigun standing on a car, and Captain America just has his little shield, and a minigun is shooting 1,000,000 rounds, doesn't get hit once.
Yeah.
And then it goes from the point...
spread on a minigun is probably a little bigger than his shield.
Yeah,
is what you're saying?
It goes to the point of view of the shooter. And you can see his legs and his arms sticking out. It's dude, one bullet at least would hit him.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that takes me out, And even Punisher, there's a shot where a dude has a sniper rifle aimed right down, dude, 3 stories up on Frank Castle, fires 4 or 5 shots, doesn't get him. It's like you had him dead to rights. You're a military trained sniper.
I mean, if he's a trained sniper, sure.
Yeah.
Sniping, from what I gather in real life, is nearly impossible. It's like very hard.
But if you're like a professional that has it all set up.
Yeah.
So that's why,
Sure.
That's why I think of Dredd and John Wick and the real great, Die Hard, obviously, because you can't really.
John Wick Chapter 3, dude.
Exactly. It's hard to nitpick it.
Give whoever made that poster the Continental backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Give that person a Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Like for convincing a boardroom. A lot of people have been saying this, but like convincing the boardroom to go with that. Like doesn't have the title of the movie on it, or maybe in a hashtag, but every piece of writing, the hero's out of focus. Everything is backwards, including the logos. Like, come on. Oh man, it's awesome.
So yeah, that's it. I love the MCU. I'm so excited for it to end. Pumped up.
Me too. Speaking of knowing too much or like seeing too much, I finally saw Hereditary, and I liked it. I liked it. Here's the thing, Huber. Here's the thing. It had been touted to me the entire year, as like the most earth-shatteringly life-destroying, terrifying, experience. It wasn't even a film anymore.
No, it's an experience.
So like I think it was like unfairly hyped.
Yeah, true.
To me.
Yep.
And like I think it was good. There are sometimes like people used to ask, and I've said this a billion times, but like people ask if having gone to film school like ruins movies for you, and I usually say it makes the good ones better and the bad ones worse. There are other times, though, there's like a third option where you just know too much. Mm-hmm. You see too much.
Yeah.
And like Hereditary fell victim to that for me because like the things that were foreshadowed too well. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I mean, I won't say too much, but like I basically called the entire movie 20 minutes into the movie. 30 minutes into the movie. We stopped because the food arrived, and I was just like, here's what I think happened, or here's what I think's going on, and it was like basically exactly.
Even the part in the car.
Yeah, I laughed when that happened. Because I saw it coming. It's going to happen.
I didn't know, dude. Our whole theater was like,
really?
Yeah.
Man, I laughed. I mean, part of the laugh, I wasn't laughing because it was like, ha ha ha. I was just like, a little startled, but also just like, yep. Yeah. I was like, yep, there it is. Yep.
I laugh at like brutal violence sometimes because it's like,
you're just like, what?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, mild spoiler territory. I won't say what happens, but like the bird, like what she does to the bird, and then like just the situation anytime in a car.
Yeah.
There are like, I was actually trying to think through this. I was like, okay, is there a way to shoot a car sequence where it doesn't telegraph literally everything that's going to happen? And I think the answer is kinda. Like No Country for Old Men, they sort of do it because the camera's facing the wrong way. But like anytime you shoot a driver from the side,
it's coming.
They're gonna get hit. Anytime you show the road in a low angle, there's someone, something, some animal is gonna appear on the road suddenly, and they're gonna swerve to avoid it and hit something on the side of the road.
Yeah.
You just see the language of film,
Yeah.
And so like, as soon as the window came down, like I was just like, all right, here we go,
What are your thoughts on Death Proof? Do they do it right?
The Quentin Tarantino one?
The car one, yeah.
It's been I saw it in theaters, and I don't think I've seen it since. I liked that one because it was mostly just practical, like, crazy stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one's less of like less of a horror kind of vibe where they're trying to build tension. But like to me, it's like in a car scene in a horror movie, it's hard to build tension.
Got it.
I think of
Babadook.
I haven't seen that. The Descent, which I've only seen the first half because it was too many jump scares. I was like,
So
but
many jump
the
scares.
Rebar coming through the windshield.
Yeah.
You kind of don't see that. I mean, like,
No.
you see the rebar in the front truck, and you're like, okay. Baby Driver does a cool couple of things like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just Hereditary I liked, but I wasn't surprised or shocked because I think the movie does too good of a job explaining everything that's happening. Mm-hmm. So like at the end of it, I had no questions.
Got it.
I was like, yep, That's what I kind of guessed, and it's all tied up neatly in a bow.
Yeah, I love the ending.
Some freaky imagery though,
because there's like usually two styles to a horror movie ending. Where like, all right, everything's good, or like,
watch out.
Like,
Jason's not really dead.
Exactly,
like that kind of a thing.
Or there's like, they end on a really weird mystery or not. And I like that it kind of threaded the needle of like, there's still some questions as to what like these people and things are, but
like what will they get up to next?
Yeah.
Stay tuned,
Yeah.
I also saw, but yeah, I mean, I liked Hereditary. Yeah, I mean, Toni Collette was out. All the performances were stellar.
Yeah. Gabriel.
I do appreciate the movie took a risk, I think, with like who's the main character of Hereditary?
Toni Collette, all day, every day.
Kinda.
Best actress nominee, robbed.
Yeah.
I'm so bitter.
But like,
I will be bitter for the rest of my life.
The movie shifts like 3 or 4 times, right? Where like it starts with one character, the middle part is Toni Collette, and then the end is kind of someone else. And like, it's a really interesting kind of thing. Yeah. Also, like, anytime you can make something innocuous horrifying, like a sound, that's a success in a horror movie.
Iconic sound.
Yeah. But something that like happens from time to time in daily life. You know, it's just like, oh, you made me afraid of that noise. Thank you for that. Hereditary. But anyways, I also saw First Reformed after a lot of people talked about it in our 2018 review.
Nice.
And I liked it. I thought it was cool. Like, I like a movie that makes you, like, you leave with more questions, like it raises questions. It asks the audience a question. Mm-hmm. And I really like that. And I think whether you liked the way First Reformed went or not, like I know a lot of people didn't like the very ending, like how it ends, like how the choice they made at the very, very end, Mm-hmm. And like, I think I liked it just because it's an interesting, like it's a choice.
Nice.
Like you made a bold choice, and like for that alone, I'm like, yeah, all right.
Cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I grew up, Christian or whatever, so like, I kind of like had that inroad on it too. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew the hymn that was playing in a certain part. It was "Onward, Christian Soldier," and I'm like, that's cute, that's funny, like But yeah,
Ethan Hawke.
Cool. Ethan Hawke, great. Have you seen
Ethan Hawke. No.
You'd like it, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely high on my list.
Yeah, it was good.
Did that get nominated for anything, or did he? Or
I'm not sure.
At the Globes,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I also I've seen the first half of Russian Doll, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a Netflix.
I saw the trailer played when I booted up Netflix.
It's fun. It's smart and quirky so far. I mean, nice. It could totally.
Is it 1 hour or 30 minutes?
The B at the end of it. 22 minute episodes, 24 minutes,
God,
roughly.
That's always
half hour. Yeah, I was like,
plus.
It was like midnight.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's like a little too early for me to get into bed. And I've beaten Resident Evil 2 twice, so like, what do I do with my life? And I was like, Russian Doll. I tried it and I failed. And I was Russian Doll, and then I was like, if it's 20 minutes, I'll watch it. And then I did, and I ended up watching 4 episodes.
Nice.
So it's just like, Anyway, that was a very long. What have you liked recently?
Good. Some good stuff.
Now we're going out into the weeds. Haven't even read these comments yet. Fresh comments.
You know what I love about phase 1 of the MCU, Ian?
Huh.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Heavily featured.
Yeah. What? Yeah, don't they like introduce that flying barge or whatever in
Winter Soldier?
They introduce it in Winter Soldier?
Or there's one in Avengers, but then in Winter Soldier they have like the gnarly like gunship ones.
But then it like immediately crashes, right?
In Winter Soldier, they like the goal is to like take them out.
Yeah. It like is the good guys have it. S.H.I.E.L.D. has it, right?
Yeah, but remember.
Oh right, yeah. Whatever.
Sorry to spoil Winter Soldier if you haven't seen it.
All right, Jeremy Ferris says, "What are some of your favorite Universal monster films?" Off to a good start,
dude. We were talking about it today.
I know.
The Mummy with Brendan Fraser is my number one. Don't at me. I'm sorry. It is a delightful movie.
Yeah, it's on Netflix now in America.
It's got it all, dude. It's got charm, it's got stakes, it's got adventure, it's got horror. It is a great time to watch, dude, every time. And it holds up. It's got really good sound. The Mummy's sound, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And like that, the
Rachel Weisz, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
The supporting cast too.
I love Rachel Weisz.
Love her. Great movie, dude. The Mummy 1. 2 and 3, not so good.
Yeah.
Scorpion King, not so good. But the original, well,
yeah.
You know what I mean.
The 800th
the 800th reboot, yeah.
Of the Mummy. Is Frankenstein Universal?
Yep.
Yeah, I like Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein is a really good movie.
Yeah, Frankenstein and
the
Bride
OG
of
Frankenstein are really good. I mean, Young Frankenstein, a classic. I don't know
count?
if that counts. Probably not.
Let's count it.
Let's count it. I like that story a lot. I mean, Dracula is a classic, but there aren't like a lot of great.
I've seen them all like 1.5 times, you know. But I really like Swamp Thing. But I do think Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein are like
they're like
a step above.
Classic movies. Yeah. They're really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mummy's hilarious.
I want to watch Wolfman again. I caught the tail end of it on like Turner Classic a year ago. I was like, dude, I gotta watch this again. It's all blurry in my brain.
They have like such a classy, like kind of weird, cozy vibe to them. Mm-hmm. I took a class in college called The History of Horror, which is weird. I don't know why I did that because like I'm afraid of horror movies usually, but like none of the historical ones I like find comfortable, not scary, you know. But yeah,
because now it's all about those damn jump scares, man.
Yeah, I hate jump scares.
When did that start?
Yeah,
Who started that?
First jump scare movie? Well, I mean, in that class we learned that some people consider the first horror movie to be Train Arriving at Station by the Lumiere brothers or whatever, because like people were like, they thought it was like gonna hit them because they didn't understand what was happening.
I would have loved a nod like that in Red Dead. If you're in the theater and people are like,
yeah. That would have been great. What year would that have been? It was later than Red Dead, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Tyler Travis asks, where are the best stories these days? TV, games, or film? Hard question.
Really hard question.
There are good ones peppered into each, I think.
I think we're at a time right now where, because TV is so prolific and everyone is watching so much TV and getting invested, there's an investment. I think it's harder for a movie now to make you emotional. At least me personally, and people I've talked to, like to see a movie and to walk out just like emotionally, you know, battered or invested is a little harder. And it's like rare now, you know, because I think of, bring up Game of Thrones again, I think of like some of the payoffs there. I think of like the Door episode where it was just like, we're so invested, boom, the payoff happens, and it's like, okay, a 2-hour movie can't compete with 6 years. Yeah. You know? But then I think of when a movie gets it right. I think of Dunkirk, and Dunkirk just completely destroyed me. And it's like, that's a 2.5 hour thing that gets you beginning, middle, end, and
I guess the real answer, I guess, is they're all different, right?
Yeah,
like film stories have to be told in a very different way than a TV story. Because the TV story has the benefit, you know, challenge, but also the benefit of time. Yeah. And a film has to be concise, you know. And it's funny that even a 3-hour film sometimes or a 2-hour film can feel like a slog, longer than a season of a TV show. But like, and then games, it's a whole other medium. I mean, like, hot take, and I've said this before, I guess, but I'm not sure that we've figured out game narrative all the way yet. Like, it's a medium in its infancy, and I think that a lot of the time right now we're still kind of just mimicking TV and film. Yeah. And I think that the games for me that are the more successful with story are, you know, I mean, I guess The Missing is like more akin to like a book than a TV show or a movie. It's kind of like a movie, I guess. But I think of Souls and stuff where I like more just kind of emergent narrative, lore-based stuff. I think, and obviously there are different kinds of games, but
like Deus Ex and stuff. Right. Being able to live in the world freely and explore and get some story like that. Yeah. single act is more exciting to me than like movies and TV.
Right, like think about Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
I'll almost be kind of disappointed if it's overly obvious what the main storyline is.
There's gonna be
even
so
at
many
first.
betrayals. And,
No, I know, but I mean, like,
yeah.
it should, like, Pie in the Sky, Cyberpunk, right? It should feel like you're just doing all the things you want to do, and a story is happening also just by living it. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
Like,
it's like, don't guide me too much. It's
right.
like, don't make me go on this mission because that's the story. It's like, make me go on this mission because it feels right.
Right. And because, like, I want it to feel like, I mean, I don't know. I guess, like, a game, I would have and I know not every game has to be like this, but, like, with a game like Cyberpunk, the choices I make should make me have a kind of different story than you, right?
Definitely.
And, like, I'm fine with Red Dead being the same story for you and I, you know, whatever. But, like, with a game like Cyberpunk, you know.
Well, the thing with, like, Red Dead and Witcher is you're doing the same missions, but everyone is having a different experience because they're perceiving everything different. Like, the same sentence can be perceived in so many different ways.
Right.
Obviously, how you respond and how you kind of treat missions. You have some freedom and choice there, but yeah, I like when you can control it. But at the same time, you know, Last of Us is linear, and that's one of my favorite stories ever. Like, so like they all have strengths and weaknesses.
For me, like, I definitely think I could. For me personally, I'm not saying this is not a drag on Last of Us or whatever, but like, I think I could personally watch you. I could easily watch you play Last of Us and have as good or better experience than if I were playing it myself, you know, or like watch the cutscenes and stuff, you know, and I would get the same out of it for me personally, I think, just because I'm bad at the shooting, I think.
Get those headshots.
All right. So there are some longer ones here. So I need to,
no way we'll get them all.
Yeah, we're not going to get them all. I'm going to have to truncate these as we go here. Varun Kachwaha.
Because that's a question.
Hey.
That I would like them to answer is
the viewers, the listeners.
Do they prefer we take our time with fewer questions or
good question,
lightning round to get to them all? You know?
Right. I mean, we're just starting at the top of the list, so it's like whoever got in first is where we're starting, you know? Yeah. In this episode particularly. Varun Kachwaha says, I want to talk about spectacle and how over time the definition has changed. Before it was something on the grand scale like massive amounts of CGI, floating mountains in Avatar, for example. But recently I've realized something. It's that spectacle has changed for me. You could show me the most amazing robots fighting, and I could be on the edge of my seat trying not to fall asleep. Even if the film is good like Pacific Rim, it wasn't because of the robots for me. Spectacle has changed. Things like the burning greenhouse in Burning, or the last fight scene in The Raid 2, just on one-on-one personal combat. Even the wedding in Crazy Rich Asians. Those are what just make me stare in awe. Things on a smaller scale that are just as much or more personal because I got the point where no matter how big you made it, I perceived it as the same thing. Has anyone else gone through the same process, and what scenes can you remember just being in awe? I agree. This is the crux of every film, and this is why the MCU has gotten better and better, is because they've understood that all the flashing lights and blowing up CG alien heads or whatever don't mean squat. Doesn't mean a hill of beans if you don't care, right? Yep. And so like the narrative characters breed the narrative. The narrative breeds you caring, you know, the characters, and then everything else comes out of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Like nobody cares about Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3.
Right.
But when Winter Soldier shows up,
right,
we are so invested.
Or even like Killmonger, like.
Yeah, Killmonger, dude, we are so invested.
Because, like, as an audience, you're kind of like, I see your point, though. And, like, Thanos, I mean, the ultimate example of this. But, like, I think, I wish I was talking to you about this. I don't remember what movie I was talking about, but where, I mean, the Coen brothers do this, various other filmmakers do this, and it's a lot about performance, too. I think about The Favorite, where, what movie was I talking about? But there was a movie where the climax of the film, like the emotional climax of the film, was a close-up on an actor's face, and it was just like a slight change in their emotion. And it's like, and it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Epic.
I wish I could remember the exact film I'm thinking of, but like, it hits you so hard, just this little change in their face.
Yeah.
And it's, it's writ large on the screen. It's a movie. They're huge, in theaters, but like that change of emotion, and then extend this to anything. Like I think about, what is that movie called? The Pawnbroker? Where he does a thing with his hand at the very end of the thing just to like feel anything at all. And it's like the craziest thing you've ever seen after this like quiet, thoughtful film. I mean, First Reform does a similar thing where it's just like a small single action, a change of emotion, a kiss, a single act of shocking violence. I think of the film Cachet. Like, oh my God, watch Cachet if you want your mind blown. Michael Haneke film. Like, that guy is the master of just dread.
He's real good.
Das Weiße Band, like The White Ribbon also, just like, oh my God. But like, one tiny little thing to me, 100%.
Yeah.
It blows your mind way more than infinite spectacle.
Yeah, I prefer practical, small scale over giant battles all day.
Feelings.
Like, this is not me throwing shade at Lord of the Rings, because every Lord of the Rings movie is a 10 out of 10, 20 out of, a million out of 10, masterpieces, all of them. Lord of the Rings, I could watch it forever on a desert island. Like, bring Lord of the Rings, extended editions, 4.5 hours. It's still not long enough.
Yeah. But I recently rewatched all of them. Did not regret it.
You did?
Again, yeah.
Nice.
Like a couple of months ago, we watched all 3 of them.
But at the same time, right?
Extended.
Some of those battles.
Sure.
Little too much.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the Mines of Moria every time.
Yeah.
Because it's
intimate. What do you think?
intimate.
Helm's Deep is good.
Helm's Deep's cool, but there's like
too much comedy in it, maybe?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's just too much, so it loses the impact, Whereas the Mines of Moria, you feel every hit. Every time an orc goes down, it matters because you're thinning their numbers.
Yeah.
Whereas when there's just like 20 million guys on screen, it's like people blowing up. It like doesn't even matter. It's
I mean, the greatest example to me is Star Wars, where it's like the original Star Wars, intimate, small group, you care. The prequel trilogy, all the Senate hearings in the universe are not going to make me care about any of these people. It's like, oy.
Yeah.
Good question. I like that one. Todd Kramer says, what movies do you feel have been snubbed by the Oscars this year?
Hereditary.
Paddington 2, Hereditary. Yeah, Paddington 2 certainly isn't receiving any of the awards show love, despite coming out in January. Paddington 2. On the flip side, I watched Paddington 2 and it blew my mind.
Everyone says it's like the perfect movie of all time.
Dude, Huber.
I need to watch it. Jolly vibes.
I did a whole episode about comparing it to No Country for Old Men and like how you. I honestly think that you could build a life philosophy based on the marriage of Paddington 2 and No Country for Old Men. Like, that wasn't a bit. Like, I watched it and I was like, this is it. This is my philosophy.
Awesome.
It is the single jolliest thing ever created by human beings. I am not even kidding.
I need to watch it immediately.
And there's no like, for me anyway, there was no like tinge of sadness to it.
Okay.
Like Winnie the Pooh sometimes gives me a little sadness.
Yeah.
Whereas Paddington 2 is just like
when the credits roll, you feel good.
Yeah, I'm just like so happy. Anyway, I lost what we were talking about here. On the flip side, there's also You Were Never Really Here's Lynn Ramsey being ignored despite having made one of the best directed films I've ever seen. Any other thoughts? Yeah, First Man.
I
haven't seen First Man.
I really apologize because 2018.
Let's call him up.
2018 was the year that I have not seen any movie. Every year I make a point to see every single movie nominated at the Oscars, every single one. And this year I have honestly seen 5%. So I apologize right now.
I haven't seen Roma yet.
Haven't even seen Roma because I'm afraid to watch it on a TV. I wanted to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And it's,
Well, here the best picture. Let's focus on best picture.
2 of them.
There's Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. Yeah, I've seen Black Panther, Black Klansman, The Favorite. And I didn't have a lot of interest in I want to see Roma.
Yeah, me too. Badly.
here's the thing with the Oscars is like, it's a weird. That's why some of the weirder like side award shows are more interesting to me, like the SAG Awards and stuff like that, because it's like they can take risks maybe. And like, yeah, the Academy is large and full of a lot of people who are working professionals. Yeah, but like they cast a pretty wide net, and I think that a lot of things slip through every year. It's always been that way.
And there is campaigning. Like that is real. Yeah. It's real. It's been documented heavily actually in the last like 5 or 10 years of people campaigning to win, and that's weird to me.
And I mean, like, at the end of the day, it is an honor. Obviously, it's a huge honor to receive an Academy Award, like the dream. But like, it's also a commercial product, right? Yeah. Like, they need to make money. They're, and I'm not accusing anyone of being like, corrupt or whatever, because whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it's all just it's just a machine to make a TV show to make money.
Yeah, but
I'm cynical, I guess.
I love the Oscars.
So do I.
I love the celebration of the year,
Yeah.
And it's even more fun when you are invested in an actor or actress or invested in a movie. But rooting for your favorites. It's like sports. It's honestly similar to sports. Yeah. Like when I sit down on my couch and watch the Oscars, I'm rooting for the ones that I care about, Yeah. So, yeah. I love it. And other than like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 random bitternesses that I have, that I will always have, I will carry the torch.
Like what?
For Saving Private Ryan losing to Shakespeare in Love. I'll carry that for the rest of my life.
That's a weird one. Also kind of a good example of how the Oscars kind of swing out usually. Yeah. Like looking at their Best Picture noms, like I'm very proud that BlacKkKlansman is on there. Like I think that's a good choice, and like I think of the ones I've seen, obviously not that many. I think the favorite is my favorite of these. I think Roma probably has a good shot at it too. There's always a film on there like Green Book or Traffic or Crash, where it's like these weird kind of like slightly tone deaf, like I don't know. My girlfriend is half black, and so like her perspective on it is obviously more nuanced than my own. But like to hear her talk about it, it seems like, kind of people patting themselves on the back maybe a bit much with movies like that, or like The Blind Side, where it's like making
it for the wrong reasons.
It for the wrong reasons, or like not the right people making it. I don't know. I mean, like there aren't right and wrong people, obviously. That sounded weird. But like I don't know. It's just like there's always that one that's kind of like a we did it, kind of like, oh, we're so great, But like it's interesting to have
like Tom
BlacKkKlansman and Green Book and Black Panther on here up against each other for Best Picture.
Yeah,
like because they're 3 very different movies, and 3 movies in a weird way about a similar topic. Obviously, I'm no expert on that topic about race and all that kind of stuff, and like what it is to be black in this country or in the world at large. But like, I loved BlacKkKlansman. I thought
I want to see it so bad. That's the number one I want to see.
It like the whole movie, like the movie itself, I thought was obviously very well done, competent. The performances were really good, especially the 2 leads. But like, the thing, it does a thing at the end that just like hit me like square in the face. Nice. And like I think I like very near started crying just kind of at the state of things.
Yeah.
And like it's a movie set in the 70s.
Depressing as hell.
Oh, dude, man. Yeah. You got to see BlacKkKlansman. It's incredible. But yeah, I don't know. The Oscars are always like so interesting to me because it's interesting how often the same kind of topic has come up, at least during our lifetime, where it's kind of just like, it's all baby steps, right? Like, I'm looking at this Best Picture list, and like, yeah, it snubbed a lot of stuff. And yeah, like, at least one of these movies has like weird controversy on it. Bohemian Rhapsody, namely. But like, yeah, I think that it's really cool to see Black Panther and The Favorite and Black Klansman in this list.
Totally.
So, who knows? Maybe in like 30 years, the Oscars will be like all actually the best films of the year, instead of just like accidentally getting 4 of them and like the rest are like popular.
I think it's cool Black Panther's there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm pulling for. MCU for life.
I mean, there's no way it wins, right? There's no way.
There's no way.
It'll probably win for like
no way.
VFX. Well, it wouldn't win for VFX because they didn't seem to have enough money for that. But animated feature is an interesting category, too, because it's Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, which I haven't seen, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Haven't even seen Spider-Man.
Yo, you haven't seen Spider-Man?
I'm a failure in life.
Dude!
I know.
Okay.
I told you, 2018 was the worst movie year for me of my life.
It's still in theaters. Go today.
I need to.
I'm not even joking.
I'm working on a review now, dude. You got to hit that embargo.
It can wait, dude. Easy Allies can wait.
I know.
We should stop this episode right now.
I know.
And go see Spider-Verse.
Oh, it hurts.
Literally, Spider-Verse. Here's the thing. Spider-Verse is emotional. It's daring. It tries new things. It's. I don't even know if I could overhype Spider-Verse to you. I went into it very skeptical because the clip I saw after Venom unsold me on the movie after the trailers had sold me on the movie. And like, oh man, Spider-Verse, I just loved every second of that movie. God almighty. It does everything. Oh, it's so good. And then I also love Isle of Dogs. Just the amount of work that went into that is so insane. Like that's the thing to me is like, obviously it's like 2 very different kinds of insane amounts of effort went into these 2 movies, right?
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just give it to Incredibles 2, which I thought was like,
I liked it.
It was fine.
Spider-Man's gonna win that. Are you kidding?
Spider-Man better win that.
Everything I've heard.
If anything other than Isle of Dogs or Spider-Man wins animated feature, like the Oscars are
Wes Anderson
for sure way off.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: Isle of Dogs it's like good. I think Spider-Man is a better movie, like a more fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Isle of Dogs is a really great movie. They're obviously going for kind of different things. And but like the amount of manual labor that went into Isle of Dogs is staggering.
I love that.
Millions of hairs individually placed into these puppets.
I love that stuff.
Watch the behind the scenes features after seeing the movie of Isle of Dogs. They're online. It's harrowing. Like the amount of work that went into that movie.
I love when a movie is a 10 out of 10 and the production is like mind blowing. It's just it's so nice. When are the Oscars? How much time I got?
February, I want to say 20.
I'm so screwed.
4th. Oh, that's on my birthday. Funny.
So screwed.
Yeah, February 24th. Mark your calendars. I'll be 34.
Whoa.
1 foot in the grave.
34 years young.
I've only got 60 years plus, barring major incident, knock on wood. All right. We are not getting through this list.
No.
I am sorry. I thought we would get through these at a way faster clip. I forgot how much we like to talk. Ken Reels, hello, allies and film aficionados. I'm always questioned why I buy physical in conjunction with digital. I understand the idea of space, but for me, the joy of watching a film is best of a quality as possible is satisfying. Have you guys embraced digital fully, or do you still collect, even if it's a small selection? You're all physical, right?
I love physical, dude. You get that lossless audio. You get that true picture quality. Yeah. Streaming cannot compete. Not even close.
Gotta get audio. Get better internet, dog.
Dude, even if you have the best internet imaginable, it's not competing
the
with
audio.
All day I'm an elitist with that. When it comes to big stuff like the MCU, I have all of them.
Sure.
And I've even I've sampled it too. Of like Guardians 2 is on streaming and like some other Avengers and stuff. And I just turned it on and it's it looks great. It looks really good. Yeah. But nothing competes. Physical media.
Yeah. I agree, I guess. There is something it feels more serious
when you pop it in.
When you pop in a Blu-ray,
Yeah.
And I do think that we've gotten to a point where Blu-ray, it is pretty lossless compared to watching it in the theater. I mean, the funny thing, everyone talks about HD and stuff, and it's 35 millimeter film has been HD for 100 years. We've had HD. It's always been, you know? But Yeah, I think Blu-ray technology certainly beats the crap out of DVD, and 4K Blu-rays are probably look better than. But it's too much might be too much, you know.
That's the thing is I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player yet.
Right.
So it's like I'm in this stage now where it's like, yeah, I've bought a lot of digital, you know. But both serve a purpose. Sometimes I'll rent stuff digitally, you know, if I want to watch a movie or something. But like when it comes to something like Roma now, I am actively hesitant to watch it because I know it's Cuarón and I know that it is going to be immaculate and beautiful, and I'm afraid to compromise that even a wink.
Well, you can come over to my house. I got that projector. It's close. I'm sort of the opposite though, because I, like you, I try to see them in the theater.
Yeah.
If it's something I'm serious about and it's a new film released, I try to see it in the theaters. And then I don't really like owning a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I used to have a very sizable Blu-ray collection that I downsized by throwing away all the cases and I put them into, folios. So I have like all my Blu-rays are in a
Smart.
2 little folder station like that big, like a foot by 6 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
And they look way better. I never open that thing. I just watch everything on streaming. So I guess kind of half and
it's
half.
both. It's both, and I got 1 foot in each oven, 1 foot in each grave, 1 hand in each pot. What am I trying to say here?
Something like that. Yeah.
Got both hands in the cookie jar. I don't know. I like them both.
Yeah. Nathan Kurse says, in my opinion, the favorite should win all the Oscars. Yeah, that'd be good. But it's not a front runner for any of them, so I'll go with Roma winning the Best Picture. Please no Green Book or Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
So is Green Book really that bad?
Here's
the only thing I heard was that like Viggo
seen
Mortensen said, a bad word, and
in the movie or
in real life he like said it.
The N-word?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
And everyone's like, "What the hell?" That's the only thing I've heard about Green Book.
I haven't seen it. It looked not, I don't know, interesting to me.
Yeah.
But the opinions I've heard about it are that it's like, besides the actors, most of the people who made it are white. And so it's kind of just like a weird situation like that. That's kind of that was the take that I've heard.
Got it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I wasn't interested in it.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look interesting to me. Like the poster, I was like, okay, it looks like Driving Miss Daisy or something. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. Although I like Cosmopolis, and that takes place mostly in a car, so who knows?
Nice.
I don't know anything about the movie, really, so I don't want to
it.
really tell tales out of school.
I know nothing about a lot of these movies. Like Favorite,
The Favorite
Victorian.
Is bonkers, dude.
It's all
The
I
Favorite
know.
is hilarious. That movie is so weird. I would love to hear your take on The Favorite. You would be perplexed.
Like The Lobster.
This is his most accessible movie,
Okay.
I would venture to say.
The Lobster, I was like, this is
I liked The
so
Lobster.
self-depressing.
Oh, sure. It's a comedy too, sort of. I liked The Lobster, but I do think it had some pacing issues in the second half. Like when it got to the forest, I was like, all right, guys, come on. Follow up to that. What would you say is your absolute favorite 7 out of 10 or less movie? Their picks are Joe Dirt, Resident Evil Extinction, and Fugitive sequel U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals is fun. I like that one. My favorite Swimming in Sevens movie.
Dude, it's Pacific Rim Uprising, hands down.
I never saw that one.
Oh, God.
What is mine? I know there are some stinkers that I just adore.
I adore Pacific Rim Uprising. I adore it. Granted, I have not seen it out of the IMAX.
Sure.
So
the IMAX probably knocked it up a couple points.
Multiple points every time for the IMAX effect.
Batman and Robin, maybe? That's the Clooney one, right? I like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Nice.
Those are hilarious, phenomenal, bizarre movies.
Yeah.
Is it Movies with Mikey? Somebody did a really good video about Batman and Robin or Batman Forever or whatever. Seek it out. Watch it. I think it's Movies with Mikey. It might be somebody else, but it's a very good movie, and it mirrored kind of my thoughts on it because it's. Oh man, those movies.
Yeah.
Those are like a 2 out of 10 maybe, but oh man, they're just so much fun.
So bad.
Megan Linhart says, so I haven't watched any of the Marvel films since the original Avengers. I used to enjoy superhero movies, but after getting so many and now feeling so out of the loop, I feel like I can never get into them. Almost like the ship sailed. Even my interest for films like this are just not there anymore. When I try to start them, I feel nothing. The spark is just gone. Oh. Have you ever felt that with a popular franchise before? Does that ever make you feel like an outsider like it does to me? Megan, welcome to my entire life.
Yeah, I've felt that before. I'm just trying to grab an example.
I mean, there are so many examples for me, like video games, like Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
People just love it.
Yeah.
And I don't fault anyone for that, but I just like, I gave it a shot. I bought the new one. I tried to learn it. I tried playing World of Light, and the whole time I was just like, I am just ticking time away. Same with Stardew Valley. I could feel my life draining.
I was on the outside looking in for Harry Potter for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. And it took Goblet of Fire or Order of the Phoenix. Maybe I think Order of the Phoenix, actually.
Not Prisoner of Azkaban? That's the one that usually people are like, oh,
no,
the third one.
Because I had missed them all. So my friends went to go see Order of the Phoenix, and they're like, dude, just come. So I saw Order of the Phoenix first.
Whoa.
And then I was like,
that's
all
the
right.
Fifth one?
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the worst ones.
But it has the best duel.
I mean, that's the only part of that movie that I even remember.
So yeah, I was so out of the loop. And I was so resistant to it because I felt excluded. So I was like, stupid kids, wizards. And then I saw it and I was like, all right, I'm going to go watch and read all of these now. So I did.
I love that. So you embraced it.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like you're still in it, like that people just love and you don't get it? I felt that way about Avengers for a while because I thought Avengers 1 and 2 were like actually actively bad. But now like Ragnarok, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Black Panther, I think like MCU is it hooked me now,
Black Panther, bro.
Black Panther.
Wakanda
forever, dude.
Wakanda forever.
Dude, that part, I mean,
I want them to win the Oscar and be like Wakanda forever.
If he says Wakanda forever, oh man. Someone saying Wakanda forever on the Oscars stage would be so hype. Oh my god.
Chadwick Boseman hype. You know who plays Jackie Robinson in 42?
The main guy?
Chadwick Boseman, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Dodgers movie? Great movie.
I have no interest in baseball.
What about Jackie Robinson, though?
Jackie Robinson's cool.
Yeah. It's like, it's more than baseball. Dude.
Right.
It's
Jackie
Robinson.
Yeah. No, like historically, I'm like, yes. Yeah, but that for sure. Dude.
I never...
When the drums start in Infinity War, oh my God. Yeah. When he's like, I know someone. I was like,
Mombaku. I never got into Star Trek, but I liked the movies. I saw the movies. But I never got into the show.
New movies
or
the old movies?
The newer ones.
I love Star Trek.
Yeah. I never got into it, but it's not, I'm not like...
No. Star Trek's a weird one because it's like you say, like as an avid Star Trek fan, I mean, I haven't seen Discovery yet, but it seems cool.
Looks pretty cool.
It actually, I saw Omar was watching an episode of it and like the captain was like morally ambiguous and I was just like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, I love Next Generation, DS9, Voyager. Like, I won't apologize for them because they don't need it.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird because like as a fan of Star Trek, you saying that you're not into Star Trek, I'm just like, yeah, no, I understand that.
And for me, it's like, it's just
Star Trek is very easy to just be like, yeah, not for everyone.
Yeah. But I feel like I like all the big, because this question to me really pertains to like
the big stuff,
franchises, MCU, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
I just don't know why.
Game of Thrones.
I guess I just wish people would get less upset about everything.
I never got into...
Like, I wish it was okay to be an outsider.
Right? It's like, just let people play their Battle Royale games.
Right.
That's a big one. Is like, people that just despise a Battle Royale anytime it gets announced. They're bitter and they yell and they flame in the comments. And it's like
who cares?
Who cares? Let them play it. You don't have to play it. You're not playing it. How is it affecting your life personally?
I was thinking about that with Metro Exodus.
Metro, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, but like everyone's very upset about the Epic Games thing, and I'm like, I get it because they took away a thing that used to, like the Steam thing. Like, I get it, I understand it, but like I was looking at it like super objectively, and I was like, but why does anyone care? Yeah. Why do any of us care about it? Yeah. Like, it's just okay. I have to click a different thing. Yeah. Like the really cynical, like backwards, like far away view of it is just like grand scheme.
Download the Epic Store. It'll take 3 to 30 minutes depending on your internet.
Right.
You know,
like looking at everything on like a cosmic scale, you get like a weird, like if you look at everything in life.
Don't even go there, dude. I can't handle it.
As like just like pretend that you're Q from Star Trek and live forever and can do whatever you want. Like if you pretend that you have an infinite lifespan, every issue melts away. Yep. It seems like so silly.
That's a good point.
Like, oh, you didn't like The Last Jedi? All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You don't want to watch the Avengers movies?
Fine.
Cool.
Yep.
Hey, let's go to the park. Eat apples.
Love the park.
I was in a park recently, and maybe it was the season. I don't know, but like every tree had these like big spiders in them.
Whoa!
And I was just like, I don't want to go to this park anymore. Sophia was like, maybe we could exercise in this park. I'm like, the spider park? I'm not going to that spider park.
Don't tell Ben.
There's spiders everywhere in that park.
Beth,
what is this
used
episode?
To read Harry Potter to me under a tree in the park.
And
then I asked her to marry me.
That is one of the single most beautiful things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Michael Huber.
I lay my head on her lap and she reads Harry Potter out loud.
That is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. Michael Huber.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, I'm like emotional. I'm going to cry. That's so pretty. Yo, should we even like try anymore with this?
Keep it going. How much time we got?
We're going. We're at an hour right now, I think.
Okay, we got a few more at least.
We could do a few more.
Yeah.
Colin Gray says, I would really love to see Black Panther win some technical awards, editing, sound design, production design. The editing and sound design, from what I recall, were good in that.
Dude, is Black Klansman on demand? Maybe I'll just watch that on
It might be. Spike Lee for director looks to be one that is more of an honorary Oscar, like how Scorsese won for The Departed. Yeah, that was for sure an honorary. We won't get into it.
Departed is a 10.
It's like a 7 or an 8.
A 10.
The Departed is an 8.
It's so good.
Scorsese is a 10. Unless he's like a freak now. I don't know. I can't keep track.
Scorsese's chill.
Is he chill? All right.
He's doing that.
He'll either split it with the vote with Cuarón and lose or not. Who knows? With all due respect to Roma and Vice and A Star is Born, boring. Parentheses. I hope all walk home with some
That's
wins.
the best, dude. I feel like 1 or 2 Oscars ago, I forget which one it was, where everything won like 2 to 4 Oscars. It's like, yeah, spread the love around.
Yeah, that's kind of my favorite. Like, it's kind of a BS thing, but like that's my favorite. My favorite way when awards shows shake out. Mm-hmm. I was actually pleased with our Game of the Year or Game Awards, where it's like each of the games that you want to win something gets their category, gets something in their category. You know, Arthur Morgan gets his nod or whatever, and then like this wins Game of the Year or whatever. You know, like that's the way I like it when it shakes out.
Give Spike Lee Best Director, but then like Best Picture Roma or something, or vice versa.
Right.
You know,
I like when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, like the year I think of that I think shook out the right way is 2007 with There Will Be Blood versus No Country for Old Men. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think that was the correct thing that happened. Like, There Will Be Blood got Best Actor. Best Actor.
Who won Director and Picture though?
And Best Picture was No Country.
But
I don't remember Director.
I don't know if it was P.T. Anderson.
It might have been the Coen brothers. I don't remember who got Director that time, but yeah. Tiana Salazar, I feel like over the past few years, Netflix Productions has become a cinematic powerhouse for funding exclusive movies. Yeah. Do you recall any Netflix originals that took you by complete surprise and impressed you, or have you had any Netflix originals that you were looking forward to but ultimately fell flat once they were released? Thanks, guys. Origami Zombie.
So...
Sorry, if I say your real name and you don't want it, I'm sorry. I read them from the top.
I brought this up a while ago. There were so many freaking Netflix originals this year that I wanted to watch from directors that I care about.
My list has like 5 or 6 deep right now, yeah.
So many, dude. Like, Outlaw King I'm interested in because of the director, and the Paul Greengrass one, the True Story.
Oh yeah, it sounds intense.
So many on there that I haven't got around to watch. I feel like I've only watched 2, and they both have been terrible but enjoyable because of like the zeitgeist and the idea of it. Bright.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I started that and I couldn't even. Oh boy.
Yeah. Bright and the Cloverfield one.
I was gonna say Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
I was really hyped on it because I think the Cloverfield kind of extended mythos, and also like the idea behind the Cloverfield series where it's like, hey, we're taking scripts that we kind of like that are like kind of bad but kind of good, and then we just kind of like slap a Cloverfield twist on it, even though it wasn't planned that way, and here you go, here's a movie. I think it's a funny exercise.
Totally.
But yeah, Cloverfield Paradox, it was a hype just because of the shadow drop, and it was just like, what the hell? And the movie is awful.
It's awful,
but I had a blast watching it because I was just like, man, this is terrible.
It's so in the
Anon,
moment.
I think, was awful.
Oh,
the Clive Owen.
Yeah.
Oh man, that movie was terrible.
I need to watch the Mads one, dude. Polar.
Dude, Polar.
I need
That's
to
on my
watch
list.
It. Okay.
That's on my list. I'm
and
sure
Velvet
it's
Buzzsaw, dude.
Velvet Buzzsaw. Like Velvet Buzzsaw, Polar, IO looks cool. There's one with Katie Sackhoff that is probably terrible, but what is it called? Origin, whatever. Another sci-fi one. Mm-hmm. She's Starbuck from.
I never even watched Mute.
I heard
like
Mute is terrible.
Companion.
Well, it's Moon. Yeah, it's in like that world, I guess. I never saw Mute either because I just heard such awful things.
That's the thing. I hear a lot of these are just so awful.
But then, like, you get occasional wins. Like, I'm really enjoying Russian Doll so far. I was looking forward to that. Haunting of Hill House, I thought was pretty good.
I need to watch that too.
Dude, what? Yeah, where have you been, man? Quit playing video games.
I know. It's because I rewatch Game of Thrones and
Stop
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
rewatching Game of Thrones. You're behind on everything. But yeah, Netflix definitely is like sometimes a quantity over quality game. But I mean, they're printing money. So Ryan Wagner says, it used to be that the summer season of blockbuster movies began the first weekend of May, but over time this has started to be eroded. This year, April will see the release of Hellboy, Shazam, and Avengers Endgame. What are your general thoughts? Man, we're getting close to Captain Marvel, too. What is that, March?
Well, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What are your general thoughts on the blockbuster movie season now essentially starting in March and running into September, only to go and resume for November and December? Are there too many blockbusters a year to fit the calendar? Is this pushing out smaller and mid-budget films that used to populate these months? Interesting thought.
It is.
And to relate it to the Oscars, do blockbusters like Black Panther getting a Best Picture nomination indicate that they're potentially even pushing more traditionally award-nominated films out of the critical awards?
There's a shift going on that I feel big time, and it's part of the reason, too, that I haven't been going to the movie theater as much. Mm-hmm. There's so many good things at home to watch. Right. It's so easy. Right. There's so, like, we just named so many damn movies on Netflix, you know? And the movie theater now offers something that no matter how hard Netflix tries, they won't be able to capture, and that's the spectacle. Yeah. You know, the big budget action stuff that just is not as good on a small TV at home.
It's a repeat, right, of the 50s when TV happened in the first place. Mm-hmm. It was a war between convenience and kind of a new angle and spectacle. Mm-hmm. You know, the movie theaters, that's how we got widescreen, Cinescope, all these crazy things.
Technicolor.
It was a little earlier than that, but like the movie theater had to go balls to the wall, all out, because they weren't the only show in town anymore. Yeah. And like now you don't even have to go out into town to see the show. And I think right now we're in an interesting renaissance of that sort of exact same issue. Like they've always been at odds, but I think now especially. But whereas before it was convenience versus spectacle, now it's quality over spectacle almost. I think like TV has gotten good, which TV has always been good, but it was more like occasionally good. Mm-hmm. And now there's such a high quantity of quality that movies are finding it hard to keep up, and especially when you're already buying it and it's just in your house. Yeah, it's tough. And I think that spectacle, like we talked about before, spectacle alone doesn't do it anymore because like viewers are they've got eye strain. They're tired of CG and explosions and
it's getting better,
bigger.
though. Action's so good now.
Yeah. And I mean, I think about movies like Dread and stuff like that, but like it's rooted again in emotion and story. And like the challenge there is TV can do that too.
Yeah.
And like TV, usually doesn't have as big of a budget unless you're Game of Thrones or whatever. But like, so TV can't always do the like, hey, we blew up 8 buildings in real life kind of thing. But like, emotionally, I think they're on par now. And like, as technology gets better, TV and movies are gonna, what each can offer will be more and more the same. You know, so it's tough. Like, besides the experience of going to the theater, it's going away.
Yeah, it's an event. Like Alita coming up, that to me is like, it is an event.
Godzilla
that
to
I've
me
been
is
planning.
the one.
Godzilla, and the only time it really feels like an event on TV is like the night something shadow drops or comes out, or like Sunday night Game of Thrones. It's harder for TV, I feel like, to be an event.
Yeah.
Whereas like going
Except
to the
for
theater
like Game of
always
Thrones is like everyone sits down and watches it because you're gonna get spoiled.
Yeah, immediately.
Societal pressures, dude.
And I feel like event has a hard time of being related to like a smaller budget movie. I don't know. Like Roma or something. That doesn't feel like an event. It feels like you're watching,
There is a weird kind of a paradox with Netflix, especially, maybe not a paradox, but like it's always available. So there's no fire under your butt to do it. So like you've always got it. Yeah, you take it for granted. And then so like the danger to that for cinema though is that it fills that gap of hey, what should we do tonight? Whereas like 10, 15 years ago it was like, let's go to the movies. Now it's like, let's see what's on Netflix.
It's scary. I never thought I would go down that way, where it's like I don't go to the movies as much anymore.
Yeah. I used to go to the movies like almost every week. Yeah.
Time consuming and it's tough.
But to go back, circle around to the blockbuster question, it is an interesting question. Like, I think it's all part and parcel to the same issue where it's like Hollywood is having to shift again, and I think that's why we're seeing this. Like, we don't have a blockbuster season anymore. It's just blockbusters are spread out throughout the year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, 5-10 years from now, there's a huge one every month. I think monthly is probably the limit, maybe bi-monthly.
Yeah.
I think that Solo got eaten a little bit. I mean, much has been made of this, talked about, but like, I think it was too close to Last Jedi.
It came out a little after, right?
It came out like 6 months later.
Yeah,
it was people were just like, eh.
Yeah.
But whereas if they'd let people get hungrier for Star Wars longer, I think that it would have done better. Who knows? I mean, it's all speculative, but I think that if they're different movies from different production houses or Disney's 8 different arms, also, we're getting back into the weird monopoly thing that was happening in the like 40s and 50s. It's crazy, man. It's like the industry is cyclical, I guess. Because, Disney just bought Fox. Like, that's one of the big 5, big 3 now, I guess. Like, big ones.
Crazy.
Crumbling into another one. And it's just like, pretty soon, like, Netflix, Amazon, Google, and Disney are going to own everything. And Comcast, Universal, whoever owns that now. NBC, Comcast, Universal, Time Warner has been, like, bought and sold so many times. It's mind-boggling. Anyway.
It's above my pay grade.
Yeah. We kind of answered that question. Joshua Turner, favorite one-shot in a TV or film? Right now, the two that I can think of are Creed and Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards episode.
Dude, and Hard Home. Hard Home, where the giant busts out of the... It's not a super long shot, but it is... a tracking shot. Jon Snow is like doing some stuff, taking out some whites, and then the giant bursts out of the house. Really cool shot.
Yeah.
And another legendary one was the Watchers on the Wall, where we're getting into Game of Thrones, but I mean
yeah.
But I'll be vague. A force attacks another force. And
and it's all one. Yeah.
And it's all
that
one.
Was insanity.
So many people are doing so many things, and
who's the director they always?
That was Neil Marshall for
episode
that.
9. Yeah, they always have Neil Marshall for episode 9.
Yeah.
The Game of Thrones formula is very funny.
Well, that's why Hard Home's so good, because it's episode 8 and it's out of nowhere and it's at the end and you're like, what? Why is this happening right now?
Is that the one where they're whatever? We can't talk about it.
It's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones has got some great ones. I mean, recently much has been made, and I agree, it's amazing. That episode of Haunting of Hill House was very good. That's like 6 long takes. It's nuts.
Nice.
Yeah, at first I was like, one shot. For some reason I thought he meant standalone episode, but no, yeah, like long takes. Atonement has a good one. That movie's kind of bad, but like that has a good long take in it.
The first time that my little young eyes ever noticed a long shot ever was The Protector with Tony Jaa.
Whoa.
Follow up to Ong Bak.
Yeah.
And it's one of those going up
the
staircase and he's just kicking everyone's ass, and it's one insanely long take.
I mean, nothing competes with Old Boy, the original Old Boy, like the hallway. Oh boy.
So good.
Old Boy. Yeah, I mean there's so many good ones. Yeah, I love a good long take.
Oh god. The best of the best, dude. Children of Men too.
Oh yeah, Children of Men.
That's one of the tops.
Although blood gets on the camera and I don't like that. And then it fades away, so it hides an edit. I don't like that. Because the camera doesn't exist in that world.
Yeah.
Screw you, District 9.
Damn it, dude. I'm going to notice that next time I rewatch it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to think of you and I'm going to shake
District
my fist.
9, dude, makes me annoyed for that reason. Because it's like, oh, I guess the camera's not real anymore.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it
isn't.
isn't.
Like the police can't see the camera. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, District 9 did a lot of cool things, but bothered me about it. The Player has a funny beginning where they're talking about how movies don't start with long takes anymore during a long take.
Oh my god, the other one, dude. Touch of Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
The beginning with the bomb in the trunk. Yeah. I love that one.
So good. Touch of Evil is my favorite film noir ever, dude.
Touch of Evil is good.
God, that movie's great.
Oh, man. Anyway, we could just talk about long shots
Love
forever.
long shots. Yeah, it's so good.
There are a lot of really good ones. I've never seen Russian Ark. That's one whole take, that movie.
Whoa.
Yeah. Keanu La'a says, personally, my favorite movie of the year was Spider-Verse. You're not wrong. Just a complete package of visual delight I've never seen in that style ever. 10 out of 10. Yeah, you got it.
I know.
As for a question...
Infinity War?
Was that one?
Did you like Infinity War?
Yeah, I loved Infinity War.
It was 2018.
Really?
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Huh.
Yeah.
As for a question, what do you think movies as a medium can do that video games cannot? Oh, we've seen many cinematic experiences in video games, and its main draw is the interaction with the player. I agree. Yeah, interaction is key. So yeah, what can movies do that video games cannot? We talk about the reverse a lot. What can games do that movies can't?
I mean, it's real humans
going
through the struggle.
Video games don't look good enough.
Yeah, it's you know, let's bring up insanely harsh examples here, like Private Ryan or something, where soldiers are brutally dying. Like or even Call of Duty or other even realistic war games don't get that.
And like nuance and performance, you know, like face technology is obviously better than it's ever been, but it's still like in a different country from like actual human expression, you know, like no shade on video games. Like we're doing the best we can with the technology we have.
New gen is coming.
We're not there yet. I think. And like, you know, no slow zoom in on Kratos being emotional can not pale in comparison to, you know, just Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, I was thinking Daniel Day-Lewis. That's so weird.
Always.
But like Daniel Day-Lewis's face just doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, like just sitting there, Daniel Day-Lewis is more interesting than any video game ever. For performance, I mean, you know, and it's just like a limit of the medium at this time.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like, it's a different medium. Don't try to. That's what I would say. Like, looking at
play to your strengths
from the cosmic entity view again. You know, if I were like a galaxy just floating through space and I noticed video games, I would just be like, hey, don't try to be something you're not. You know, just take it easy. You're great on your own.
Seriously,
You have your own strengths.
Like you were saying about infancy, we forget movies have been around since 1900 and games have been around since
the
like
80s.
NES I feel like is
85 is when it really like blew up. But like that's my thing is like video games are a child.
Yeah.
And like technology grows exponentially, right? So like it's advancing really quickly, but film has had in a weird way, I think that film came around at the right time because things didn't advance as quickly back then, and it gave them the time to craft the medium as an art more. Like they had the way to build the toolbox without any of the bells and whistles, whereas games, you need bells and whistles to make that exist.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not to say that we haven't learned. I think that gaming is an amazing field and has been crafted as an art. I don't want to be misconstrued, but I mean, like, there's a discipline in scarcity, and obviously games had that too, because like technology was really not simple, but like hard to use, but a lot less intense as it is now, obviously. But like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and movies can just focus on the story, whereas like if you're writing a game story, Last of Us or something, it's like, all right, now they need to find the yellow pipe and climb it. It's like, I imagine that process being different, and that like we haven't 100% nailed that yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Like having to always think about gameplay with your story. You can't just be a story only, because then it'll just be a movie.
Well, and it's weird because movies have to think about that too, is like, the way that you engage your audience in a film is very different than how you engage your player as a game, right? Because the way to engage an audience in a film is to leave things unsaid, is to hint and the nuance and performance and writing and the world that you've built, that all of that draws people in. The way that you frame it, the mise en scène of the scene, like the blocking of the actors, the way you, the cinematography, the lighting, all of that combines to create questions for the audience, and that's how you keep them entertained and engaged. Whereas in a game, you want the player to feel as though they're having an impact on the story, and that's way harder, or not. It's very different to write for, I think. Yeah, you're right, and it's such an interesting thing because movies are a game.
Yeah,
they're a puzzle, and puzzles are interactive, but you interact with it internally without affecting it. You experience it. It interacts with you. Yeah, I love everything, man.
I love it, dude. Because, like, a game, it's like you're in it. You're in there,
Yeah.
How many times do you see a movie and you're just like, oh, I just want to, like, be in that world, I watch, like, Blade Runner, and it's like, dude, give me, like, Cyberpunk, It's like, let me just walk around there.
Yeah,
it's like, you can't. Like, you're just around. Passive,
Yeah. Man, I feel bad. We've gone longer than we usually, or about as long as we usually go, and we have like 50 more comments that we didn't get to.
Sorry.
Oh, we might have to do like a follow-up to this. Yeah. Let us know if you'd like that. If you liked this format, we could do it again next month with maybe these same questions or something. I'm just trying to look.
Last one?
I'm trying to look for like a short one here. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names in here too. Tokyo Slim's in there. We got all kinds of stuff. I never saw the remake of Suspiria, actually.
Me either. I missed it.
I like the original. That movie is ridiculous. Here we go. Last question. Everyone, thank you so much for sending in questions. I'm sorry if we skipped you or missed yours. Yeah. But this one, Carl Williams asked, question, with Ben Affleck no longer playing Batman, who should be the next caped crusader in the upcoming Batman film set for 2021? Who's the new Batman, Huber?
Brandon Jones. No, I'm just kidding. He's got the jaw for it.
He does have a nice jaw.
Who do I want to be Batman?
This is a toughie.
Holy hell, dude.
It's like, I think they talked about this in Red Letter Media in their Ready Player One where they cast that guy because he's always, they pointed out that the main character of that is always playing characters that you only see the bottom half of his face.
Yeah.
And so he's cast just for his lips. He's like, but he's got those lips. It was a funny observation, but yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Well, it depends on.
I want someone really, really young.
Yeah.
I want a younger person.
Well, it depends. It depends on which Batman they're doing. Have they said? Because if they're doing like Batman Beyond or something,
here's really all
then
we
get
know.
Get someone old to play Batman. You know.
The only thing we know about the new The Batman movie coming out is that they are going to hone the hell in on the world's greatest detective mantra. Detective. It is going to be a detective movie first.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, who's a good detective?
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Loved him.
I miss Bob Hoskins.
Me too. Has a small part in Doomsday. Neil Marshall.
Really? Have I seen Doomsday? I feel like I've seen Doomsday.
I love Doomsday. That's good, man.
Isn't that like medieval apocalypse?
It's everything.
One?
It's
everything.
It's
like got everything mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
yeah.
man, this is too hard.
That's really hard, dude. Batman. It's like I don't want to cop out of the answer, but I'm open to whoever they decide. You know, I don't wish for someone to be Batman because then when it's not that person, I'll be disappointed. So it's just like I let the professionals and the creators, you know, the mad geniuses behind the camera that are making that to do it.
I would say, yeah, I agree 100%. And I would say it doesn't have to be.
It can be anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be some name. Like I would prefer them to not just say like, oh, Bradley Cooper, he's big. Yeah. Let's use him, you know, or like whoever, you know, like, have an audition, cast someone.
Keanu Reeves.
Yo. Is he too pure? Is he too pure for Batman? He may be too pure.
He's the best.
Oh,
Keanu Reeves. Like,
literally,
if you want to make $1 billion Batman movie, just Keanu.
It's weird how like in the Me Too generation, like my entire perception of like, is it possible? Is pinned, like for people to for human beings to be good is pinned on Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
If Keanu goes bad.
If Keanu breaks
We've
bad,
talked about this before, but like
I'm out. Yeah,
I don't
done.
know what I'll just like quit society.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu, don't let us down.
Don't let us down, Keanu. The weight of the world is on your shoulders.
That said, though, Keanu playing the bad guy in the new Batman would be awesome.
Like a Two-Face Keanu
with Mads Mikkelsen.
Dude, get Mads in there. What villain could Dude, Mads as Bane, I could see.
Mads as Bane. Mads as Harvey Dent would be really wild and strange.
Mm-hmm. Dude, he would pull such a good Two-Face.
Oh, he would be a crazy Two-Face. Or like a really dark Riddler.
Yeah.
Like a Hannibal Riddler.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mads, dude.
Yes.
Mads, I don't know if he could be Batman, though. Although when he's playing a good guy, I like Mads.
Yeah. Charming.
You've seen The Hunt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an upsetting movie.
Yeah, that movie's so upsetting.
Yeah, Polar, dude. Got to see Polar.
Mm-hmm.
Batman. Who's Batman? Now I'm like, it's like bothering me.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's already done him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Dude, I remember when there was a lot of talk and a lot of demand for Joseph Gordon-Levitt to just become a Batman. But then that's weird because it's like Nolan.
It's like, is it Nolan? Is it It can't be Sam Worthington. It can't be Hawkeye. It can't be Tom Cruise. It can't be. I mean, it could be any of these people, I guess.
Anyone.
Yeah, I'd want it to just be some like gritty, strong, new.
Anyone.
Surprise us.
Yeah. A no-name actor.
Yeah.
You know, Daisy Ridley, like in Star Wars.
Follow your heart.
Yeah.
You know? Find someone on Broadway to be Batman.
Or have Ben McKenzie do it.
Who's Ben McKenzie?
He is Jim Gordon in Gotham.
Oh.
And Ryan Atwood in The O.C.
Yeah, I know. I can picture him now. Actually, yeah. I mean, wasn't there talk about like not necessarily casting a white person too?
I think that's why I say anyone, dude. Yeah. Honestly.
Although I saw.
Although Idris Elba for Bond. Freaking needs to happen.
Yeah. Idris Elba for Bond.
God.
And
don't give me that too late, too old crap.
That. Oh, dude. With the way the narrative has gone with Daniel Craig, it's like he was a spring chicken in the first movie,
he's like 70.
And then in the second one he was too old for this. I'm just like, how does time work in the James Bond universe?
Idris Elba for Bond is like the number one thing I want in movies right now.
Yeah,
like,
I need to watch
Up.
Luther. I've heard my dad loves it. Omar loves it. It just came back suddenly. Mm-hmm. I read it. I didn't read it, but I saw an interesting headline. And I think maybe Sophia talked to me about it, how like a black Batman would be really weird because you'd have to they couldn't just
one for one it.
Yeah, they couldn't just one for one it because the life experience would be it'd be really different. Mm-hmm. So I think that would actually be a really interesting
new origin story
new origin story, like do it right. Like I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
But I don't know. I didn't read the article, so who knows. I don't know how to read. I just watch movies and play video games. Anyway, thank you everyone for submitting your comments. This is probably a really weird episode.
That was fun.
I don't think we said anything too off kilter. I don't know.
Nope.
But yeah, this is Reaction Shots. Usually we have a bigger structure, more structure than this episode did. If this is your first episode, please come back. Please listen to previous episodes. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Ibrahim Sozer's Gotham question that you skipped over, Ian.
That seems pretty spoiler for Gotham, though. Spoilery. About a death. Yo, but that...
Dude.
I haven't seen this show, but this seems like a cool idea.
Dude.
I mean, is it spoilery to say that? It's a prediction.
He kind of says that Ben McKenzie will be Batman. This is pretty awesome.
No.
We see each other.
Dude.
Gotham.
A female Joker would be awesome.
It could easily happen.
Yeah.
In Gotham. Easily.
Really?
So many ways to do it.
Gotham, dude.
Just when you think you know what's going to happen in Gotham, the exact opposite thing happens.
Nice.
It's amazing.
And then when you start predicting the opposite things happen, then the opposite happens.
Like, honestly, if you are curious with my insane amounts of hype and you don't want to slave through a lot of mediocre Gotham, just watch the final season. Honestly.
You know what I really like? I really appreciate watch lists. Not in the sense of like government watch lists, but like no, like when someone prepares a list of like, hey,
just watch these.
Here are the good ones.
Yeah. After Winter Soldier, watch season 1, episode 22 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that.
How many episodes per season is that show?
22, but the newest season's only gonna be 13.
Wow. Remember, Omar just recently, my roommate Omar just went through House again. Nice. And I remember it was like kind of shocking to me how many House episodes I had seen and like had a really weird crystalline memory of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is the one with the tick in the elevator. And it's like, oh, yeah, right. With Michelle Trachtenberg. But
nice. Dawn.
Yeah.
Buffy.
Yeah. Didn't like the Dawn stuff, really.
Yeah.
Buffy's weird. Buffy, I had an ex-girlfriend who did Just the Good Ones for me, and I appreciated that.
They're all good.
That's not true, Huber.
One of the greats. One of the all-time greats.
That'd be an interesting episode for this, where we try to do a Hall of the Greats for shows and movies.
Dude, Buffy is like in the like Mount Olympus of TV shows for me. Straight up.
Yeah. I like the musical episode. Most of it. Anyways, thanks for watching and listening. I don't have a quote for the quote challenge. We usually end with a quote challenge. I didn't think about one.
Me either.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're shooting at the glass.
Shooting at the lights.
Ease down. You'll just burn the transaxle. You'll burn the transaxle.
Yeah.
You're just grinding metal. Anyway, you'll blow the transaxle. Whatever. EasyAllies.com, Patreon.com/EasyAllies.
I always forget.
Twitch.tv/EasyAllies.
I always forget Idris Elba's quote in Pacific Rim.
The first one?
Today, we cancel the apocalypse.
Yeah, dude.
So epic. God, he's epic.
But also, it's just like, I mean, I guess someone would say that, though. Yeah. Someone would probably say that. The apocalypse is canceled.
It's so good.
We're just holding out for National Treasure 3, you know?
Yo, dude, Idris Elba was the villain in Hobbs and Shaw. Did you see the trailer?
What is Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, my God. Fast and the Furious spin-off. We've reached that level now, where there's a spin-off of Fast and the Furious with Hobbs and Shaw, a.k.a. Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Jason Statham. And the villain is Idris Elba, who is like using genetics to become a superhuman or something. It's off the rails. It's going to be great. We'll watch it in the IMAX, guaranteed. Right, Ian? Don will be there. Can always count on Don to join me in the IMAX. Well, I'm joining Don in the IMAX because it's really a privilege and an honor to join him. Yep, that's all I got. Alita, IMAX 3D. We'll be there. Right, Ian? Yeah. Ian, you better join us. You better be there. Alita IMAX 3D is going to be the event of the decade.